You know, everybody agrees that clay court tennis is its own unique creature, so just what is the grit and the grime of clay court tennis all about? Here's John Wertheim with an answer in today's Unstrung, a fresh perspective presented by Liberty Mutual.
Let's get granular for a moment, shall we? Clay court tennis is on the docket now. It's a time of sliding and grinding, of spin and defense. A time for unusual court positioning, and yes, a time for detergent. It's almost a tennis dialect, clay court tennis is, only vaguely familiar to what we witnessed in Australia or Indian Wells or Miami. The surface comes in all colors. There must be 50 shades of clay, as it were. Sorry. Clay comes in all styles, too. The clay in Brazil is different from the clay in Houston, which is different from the clay at the French Open. Players like these guys don't get enough credit for the variance of the surface. What is red clay to some is dread clay to others, especially Americans. We love clay pigeons, claymation, and in most of the country, Clay Thompson. But when clay covers the surface of a tennis court, too often Americans get, well, dusted. More than ever, though, clay is essential. Sweeping aside the clay court season is no longer an option. A tennis player who can perform on hard courts and grass but not clay is like a writer who's mastered nouns and adjectives but hasn't quite grasped verbs. For that matter, it's like a player with a killer forehand but no backhand. You are incomplete, exposed. Clay asks of players a unique set of questions. It makes different demands, taxes different muscles, requires a different philosophy. Clay court tennis leaves its mark, literally. We see forensic evidence of hustle and effort. Like skid marks on the road, we can see where you were going and where you stopped. Maybe most of all, clay court tennis is a personality test. It tells us a lot about a player's makeup, their capacity for trench warfare. In the end, we learn this. When the surface gets gritty, which of the players do likewise.
Back on the Lacoste Terrace with the author of that piece, John Wertheim. And I like that you describe clay as a tennis dialect, because it reminds me a lot about when you learn a language, you may learn it, but if the language is not native to you, you'll always speak with a little bit of an accent. And with clay, if you didn't grow up on it, you may learn how to play on clay, but it's not the same as if it's native to you.
I like that. We'll prolong the point, as it were. You know, when you go to a foreign country, if you go to Spain, you'll pick it up after a few weeks. Mm-hmm. And I think it's the same thing here. This is the culmination of a few weeks on the clay, and players improve. But no, I think you're right. I mean, I think people talk about being more comfortable on the surface, but if it's not your native surface, it's always a little alien.